Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel and of course the rebuild of our unfinished Sealine SC35. In the last episode we made some serious progress, sealing in the windscreen and fitting our bespoke sliding roof system for the final time. That was a big moment because it means we can now move on to getting a custom cover made to make the boat fully watertight. But as always there's plenty to do, so let's get stuck in and see what's next on this journey to bring the SC35 back to life. Really nice to see these roof bars on for the final time. So that is it now, they are permanently fixed. We just need to tighten down these locking nuts, but other than that, these are now done. We've got a guy coming to measure up to have a canopy made, and we just need to fit a kedder rail at the back here, so we need to get that ordered as well. Richard has printed this little plastic piece, so this will slide in the end of the bracket, and that sort of sits flush there. Now at the moment we've got, you can see a little gap at the back, so we'll just extend that back a little bit, but other than that, that seems to work quite well. It gets bolted through here with stainless steel bolts, and then also there's a hole in here at the end, and that's where the press stud will go, so that means then that the canopy can come across and press stud down and creates like a, I guess, like a little drip point that drops down into this gutter.
Snap it on.
Yeah, it comes in black.
Yeah, snap it on, he says. Side. The hook will be there.
There.
So you've got plenty of room, haven't you? You could even get it in on the cardboard.
So next we need to mount our fiberglass forward moulding that we've got in the workshop across here, and that basically slides forward and backwards on these sliders here and drags the canopy with it. So we need to work out, just make sure this all sits correctly. There'll be a seal across the front here that seals the moulding against the front there, and then also there'll be a rail on the back of the moulding that we attach the canopy to. Slight change of plan. So moulding is in, however originally we had this packer that went underneath here on top of the track car, but that was when this rail was sat hard on the moulding, and we've changed it since. We've put this plastic packer in underneath, and that's so that we raise the track out of any potential water. So if you can imagine, this is the gutter, water running down here. We were sort of keen to get this track out of that water, so we've raised it up. So that means now we don't need this packer. So what we've done is we've got a little 3mm packer under here, and that now lines beautifully on the top and also underneath as well. So you can see under here now that is just lines through really nicely, so that moulding is sat absolutely where it needs to be. So that just needs, we need to also change the bolt arrangement as well. So before we had some, I think you call these barrel nuts. So we had these barrel nuts before that were sort of stood up, and then we've got some bolts that went inside them. So now what we want is, because we've got a threaded stud sticking up from our track car, we need a barrel bolt, I suppose is what you would call it, and that's exactly what we've got here. So this is just a little one that we've got lying in the workshop just to try it, but yeah, got this barrel bolt, and that now you can see the thread in there. So you've got the threaded stud, we can just drop that into there. Obviously we need a washer, and that will hold that down in place. So I think that's going to work out really well. What we'll need to do is just print the 3mm packer to go under here, so like a 3mm plastic shim. We need to get a couple more barrel bolts for the front, and then I think this will work out really nice. So we're just measuring these holes in the top of the moulding here. So Richard's measured the depth, so for the barrel nuts, so we need a, was it a 20 and a
20 and a 12
and a 12mm on the back. And it's just measuring the width here because we also need some sort of cap on this front hole just to sort of finish that off.
So 24 maximum.
Yes,
for a cap,
for a nice little cap.
and same with the back, depending on what we do with that.
That's not on show, so that's not so important. This here, stainless steel, black anodised aluminium, something along those lines. ABS plastic would do the job, wouldn't it, I think?
Rail will probably cover all
Yeah.
that anyway, we think, don't we?
Yeah, so Kedder rails going on here. That pulls the soft roof tight, and that'll all be covered, so that's fine. And then we will also get this, we're looking I think to get this wrapped in a nice glossy carbon fibre, should look quite nice, with a little cap on. That should look pretty smart. Next little conundrum is we're looking to fit these windows permanently. But before we do that, we just need to get these posts finished off. So at the moment we've got this great big gap here. Well, I say great big, 4mm. So what we're going to do is just undo these bolts and just see if we can slide a packer underneath, and then what we'll probably have to do is cut that and drill it, and then that'll slide under there, and then hopefully we get a tighter fit. At the top there, both these posts are made identical, but of course the fiberglass being fiberglass, this is a slightly different measurement here, so that's probably just a couple of mil. So we'll need to pack that up, maybe 2mm as well, and hopefully that'll sort that. Possibly the smallest ratchet I've ever seen. Micro ratchet.
Martha's ratchet.
So Richard has printed these little shims, packers, whatever you want to call them. So these are, I think, 3 or 4mm, and the idea is that this will sit between the track car and our front moulding there. And he's printed these on the 3D printer in flesh colour, and we're not quite sure why. I'll leave that to your imagination. Serious now. Richard's got his engineering glasses on. So this front moulding now is all installed. So we've got the 3mm packer underneath that Richard had printed in the flesh colour. We're changing that to black. We just wanted to make sure that this absolutely fits perfectly. So this is all now nice and flush. We've got our barrel nuts holding everything down, stainless steel, and then we've just installed this kedder rail. So the idea here is that we'll just be able to slide the new canopy in. So on the original boat, what they actually had was a piece of plastic nylon bar that was screwed down onto the canopy. It just meant removing it and changing it was quite difficult. So this way we can just slide a new canopy in, and there'll be one of these at the back as well. We've got black plastic kedder rail track to go at the back there, and we've been really careful to make sure that the measurement between these 2 points, we've been checking it all the way along as we go across when we were fixing this rail to make sure that that was absolutely spot on, and it was within 1mm, which should be fine when we get the canopy made. So next what we're going to do is fit the black plastic kedder rail track on the radar arch. Okay, so we've got both of our posts now bonded and bolted into place. So we've got a plastic shim down at the bottom here. We've put some Sikaflex in there as well, bolted through the deck with stainless steel bolts, and we've got nuts underneath. We've got lock nuts underneath with nice big fat washers, and then we've also got this Sikaflex bead in here as well, just to take up that small gap. We've left these screws wound out deliberately. We'll let this Sikaflex cure, and then we'll be able to wind those in, and that will be super tough, and then we'll be ready to put our windows in. Also, we've had Rob over from Fiskerton, a friend of Richard's. He's going to make the cover for us. I'll leave the details in the description if anybody needs his services. So he's been over, done a quick test fit, and he'll be coming back hopefully next week with a cover for us to try. So that'll be a nice milestone. Get that cover on, get the windows in, and we can start to get watertight. So I'm flying solo today. Richard is sunning himself somewhere on a beach, so I thought, you know what, I will come down in here. We've got in a little bit of a mess while we've been working up on the top deck, so yeah, I think we'll give this a little bit of a spring clean. Okay, that's going to be a wrap for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.